Hey everybody, Kuroda, Rob here. So today I want to very quickly just do a review of Detective Pikachu. I just saw it in the theater. I got back from the theater maybe 10 minutes ago. I literally can walk to the theater. It's two blocks away from my house. And this was not opening day. Oh, it's opening weekend. Basically the film opened on Friday, the 10th of May. And I just thought I'd give you guys my thoughts on this real quick. I kind of just decided to see it today on a whim. I really wanted to see it in theaters. I just didn't know when I was going to go see it. And basically, long story short, my wife Rachel is gone for the weekend, so I decided, hey, why not? I'll just go over to the local theater, walk over there, and go see this movie. And at first I kind of felt a little weird about it, being a grown man going to see the Detective Pikachu movie, at the theater by myself. But it was kind of funny because I looked around and the vast majority of people in the audience were adults rather than kids. There were kids there, but it was just kind of funny that there was a lot of adults my age too, and maybe a little younger too, maybe in their 20s and stuff. But I thought I'd give you guys a quick review here and just my thoughts after my first initial impression on seeing it. And it was really interesting. It was a great movie. I loved it, and I should really quickly give you guys a bit of background history. If you can't tell, I really love Pokemon. I have loved Pokemon since it first swept the entire world by storm back in, I guess, 98-ish, I think is when it came out in North America. And I've loved it ever since, Red and Blue. I watched the anime when I was a kid. I remember seeing the very first Pokemon movie in theaters when it came out. My aunt actually took us to see that. I collected the cards. I was just a humongous Pokemon fan, and I pretty much always have been. I fell out of it there around maybe between like Gen 4 and 5, but about Gen 6 I came back into it full force, and I am a massive Pokemon fan. I love the franchise, always have, and it's just a fantastic series. So that being said, I want you to know that I'm looking at it through the eyes of a pretty huge fan of the series. So I will give my opinions in terms of what I think people who aren't familiar with the series might think of it and that bit. But I just wanted to put up front my sort of bias, I guess you could say, or my perspective being a huge Pokemon fan. But I guess I'll start out saying is that I really loved the film. I really, really loved the film. And now, when it was first revealed, when I saw the first trailer, I have to admit I was a little bit skeptical, just a tiny bit, a little scared, to be honest, because it was kind of weird, and I think a lot of people might feel this way. It was kind of weird the very first time, that first trailer dropped, because nobody had ever seen Pokemon rendered in a more realistic way before this movie. So this is really the first ever live-action attempt at a Pokemon movie. And of course, there's been tons and tons of Pokemon anime-style movies for many years now since I first saw Pokemon the first movie, way back in, I don't know when that came out. That had to be like 98, 99 too. So I'm not sure, but anyway. But yeah, so this is the first full-on live-action film with actual actors and everything, and I thought it was an amazing movie. I really loved it. At first, when I saw that initial trailer, I thought the Pokemon kind of looked a little weird. Maybe it's because of all the advertising and other trailers that have come up and all this stuff. I definitely am way past that now, and I think that initial, shock of seeing Pokemon given a more realistic look has pretty much, it's not something that bothers me, And in fact, I would say I was absolutely delighted. I would say, in terms of how the Pokemon looked in the film, I would say I liked about like 95% of the renderings of the Pokemon, of how they looked in the movie. There was a couple that I didn't think translated super well to like a live action setting. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of Charizard's design. I didn't hate Charizard's design, but I thought they could have done maybe a little bit better with it. Still, and Charizard is one of my favorite Pokemon, I will say. But still, I really did none of the Pokemon, I didn't hate any of them. I just thought some of them could have looked a little better. Gengar, I thought, could look a little bit better. Among others, I'm having a bit of a hard time thinking right off the top of my head, but Gengar and Charizard were the two that really come to mind quickly. In contrast, I thought Charmander was one of the cutest ones. Like the three starters, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, I thought looked really, really good. So yeah, really, I mean, it was really. I also thought maybe Snorlax looked a little too furry, although he was adorable. I have to say, all the Pokemon looked really adorable in this. They I think really did a good job. I think they did the best job they could, putting these Pokemon in a more realistic setting than perhaps really even anybody could think, you know, in my opinion anyway. I never thought I would see Pokemon look like that, look so realistic in some kind of medium. So I have to say, like, you know, initial shock from the original trailer aside, I really enjoyed it in the context of the film, and I felt like in the film the Pokemon actually looked better than in the trailers. I don't know why, I just feel that way. I thought some of them looked really good. I thought Pikachu looked really good. Pikachu was adorable. He was really fuzzy. I thought Psyduck was really cute. I thought Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur and Trico I thought looked really good in the movie. Really, all the Pokemon here actually. Like Greninja is pretty prominent in it for a while. I thought the Greninjas looked great. I thought Mewtwo looked really, really great too and badass. So in terms of that, just to get that out of the way, I thought that the Pokemon themselves, for the most part, looked really, really good. I'd give it like give them like a 9 out of 10. I think they did a really, really good job, except for maybe a handful of them that I wasn't necessarily thrilled with how they looked. But they also didn't look terrible either, so I think their credit, you know, should be given to where it's due. And also, I'd imagine, on that note, it must be hard. Some Pokemon might translate better than others to a more realistic look. And Charizard I could see being kind of a tough one. So, and same with Gengar, because you're literally looking at a Pokemon that's not even really, well, it's a ghost type Pokemon, so it's, you know, I could see it being a hard thing to make really look realistic. But the Pokemon aside, I thought the film was really good. I really enjoyed the plot. It's sort of like, it's definitely a detective movie, like kind of a mystery, but there's a blend of other things. There's comedy in it. I laughed a bunch of times. I thought it was hilarious. I thought Ryan Reynolds did a really good job as Pikachu. Pikachu had some really like hilarious one-liners in the movie, and I thought it was just a really good fit. I know he's not Danny DeVito. I know everybody wanted Danny DeVito to play Pikachu, and that would have been the greatest. But I thought Ryan Reynolds did a bang-up job. Kudos to him. I think, and I admittedly, like, I have never seen the Deadpool movies. My God, I haven't seen Deadpool. But and I know Ryan Reynolds does a really good job in that. So I thought without ever really seeing him in that role, I thought he did really, really well as Pikachu. I thought it was a good pick. If Danny DeVito couldn't do it, I thought Ryan Reynolds did a great job. The actor that played the main character, Tim, I thought was also really good. Really, the whole cast, I thought, did a pretty bang-up job. The acting was really good. I thought the tone of the film was cool because, it being a mystery, there was a lot of, like, dark sort of themes, and there's a lot of neon in it, which was really neat. It kind of gives it that old-school detective, noir kind of look to it, which was, I thought was really well done. And then, of course, because it's Pokemon, obviously the whole film isn't going to be dark. And you had these really, like, you know, scenes in the daytime where it's, like, really bright and colorful, and gives it that sort of atmosphere that, yeah, you are watching a Pokemon movie, which was really good. I thought they did a really good job kind of translating the sort of happy-go-lucky, colorful, cheerful Pokemon vibe or Pokemon setting to the film, and I thought it was I thought they did a really good job. There was a lot of really awesome plot twists in the film, especially at the end. There's like really two actually parts of the movie that I won't spoil. I'll keep this a spoiler-free review that were really good. Particularly the very end of the movie. There's a plot twist that I did not see coming that I thought was really, really, really well done. And I mean, now I have to acknowledge my bias here. I was getting choked up at certain parts because I've been a fan of Pokemon since like '98. So you're talking about over 20 years. 20 years I've been kind of entrenched in this series and this world and these characters, and There was a lot of parts in the movie that were really, really touching to me, and it was nice to see. They kind of had that spirit of Pokemon in terms of the storytelling, of like kind of having a heartfelt message, and it being more about like the relationship between people and Pokemon, and there's this whole idea of friendship and love and all this stuff. That whole thing that Pokemon is so famous for. I love that stuff. I know it's really cheesy, but it's some of my favorite like part of the whole storytelling of the Pokemon franchise. So I thought that the movie captured that really well, and I really appreciated it. I also noticed, and I imagine if I go see the movie again, which I might try to do next weekend if I have time with my niece and my nephew and my brother. If I see the movie again, I'll certainly try to watch it on, when it comes on Netflix or whatever it does, or maybe I'll rent it or something. I don't know, but I'm sure I'll watch it at least one or two more times. And I noticed certainly a lot of references to a lot of other Pokemon games and media. There was certainly a couple of references to the anime. In fact, the overall plot and the opening scene of the film actually reminded me a lot of the very first Pokemon movie. And I really haven't read any reviews, to be honest, of the movie, so I don't know what other people are saying about it. But there is definitely a lot of throwbacks, particularly to the first anime Pokemon movie, which is especially, I felt that very first opening scene was very reminiscent of the opening scene in the very first Pokemon movie. So, and the plot even at times kind of reminded me of some of that too, which was very interesting, and it was a kind of nice little nod, I think, to that. I thought I read something right after the film, because I was looking, actually, funny story, I wasn't trying to spoil myself, but I was looking to see if there was an after credits scene, because sometimes that happens, and I was going to wait it out at the film. There isn't, by the way. But in the little article I was reading, they were mentioning something about how the plot could be linked to the first movie, but I don't really know anything about that, so I just figured I'd mention it. But yeah, I don't know, I appreciated those nods to that. There was like a couple posters in the back that would, like in one scene where it said like Sinnoh tournament, which was kind of neat, so it's obviously a reference to that gen of Pokemon. And yeah, there was just I'm sure as I rewatch it again, my point before, watching it on Netflix or whatever, I might catch other references to, various different other, Pokemon media, such as, again, games and whatever. There's also a really, really great reference with Pikachu. I don't want to spoil it because it's beautiful, but there's a scene with Pikachu on a bridge, and he's by himself, and if you guys watch the film, you'll know what I'm talking about, and I really appreciated that reference. I think anybody who loves the series will really, really appreciate that reference as well. So, yeah, you'll know as soon as you see it. Trust me. It's great. But as far as, newcomers to the series, and if there's anybody who wants to, who's going into the film, like, say, who's not really familiar with the world, or maybe liked Pokemon as a kid and kind of fell out of it and haven't really, seen it or really played any of the games or anything in years, or maybe you have kids and you want to take your kids to see the movie and you know nothing about Pokemon. I think there's a lot there that people can enjoy. It's a really heartwarming story. It's kind of a cool, like I said, the mystery, detective solving aspect of it is very interesting. I don't think the plot depends on somebody going in there with needing to know everything about Pokemon. There's a lot there for fans that will appreciate all the references and, seeing all the different kinds of Pokemon and all that stuff. The plot is accessible enough to a general audience where if some random dude off the street were to just go in and see the film, I think they could appreciate the story, even if they don't really get the characters and stuff like that. So I think for anybody who wants to go into the movie and, are worried, well, it's like, I don't know crap about Pokemon, I don't think you really need to enjoy the film. I thought the film kind of stands on its own. While at the same time, I think they struck a really good balance between that and also making it something that fans can appreciate. So I really liked that. I thought the acting was good. Again, I thought the cinematography in certain scenes was really good for sure. This movie would also qualify as an action movie, I think, too. There's a lot of really good action sequences in it. that I thought made it, a fun movie. And particularly towards the end, there's some really good scenes. There's some scenes with Pokemon battling each other, which is great. It's really cool to see Pokemon like battling each other in a more realistic setting. I thought that was really, really awesome. And yeah, I don't know. As a Pokemon fan, it had just about everything that I could really want in a Pokemon movie. And I also have to say, as I touched on before, I thought the movie was really funny. I laughed a lot. Again, particularly with the Pikachu character. Like Pikachu had like a ton of great one-liners. And yeah, I don't know. And the Psyduck, I really liked the Psyduck in the movie too. And there was just little nods to, like, there's a scene, like, minor spoiler here, but there's a little scene where like they're in a bar or some setting, I can't remember exactly, and there's a Jigglypuff there with like holding kind of like the marker from the anime that it used to use as like a microphone, and it's singing, and there's a dude just passed out on the table. I laughed when I saw that because it just made me, it made me really happy. I remember seeing that. I remember the Jigglypuff, notoriously in the anime, showing up randomly and singing and putting everybody to sleep, and then, writing on their faces with the marker. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was great. You guys, if people are worried about seeing Pokemon in this movie, there's Pokemon everywhere in this movie. I think there's barely a scene where there isn't at least one Pokemon there, but there's always Pokemon walking around in the background. And it isn't just focused on Gen 1 Pokemon either. I mean, I saw Pokemon from just about every gen you can think of on there. The film's just littered with them. I'd be interested to actually look up and see how many different types of Pokemon people have actually spotted in the movie. I mean, they got 800 almost now Pokemon to choose from, or whatever it is. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's good that there were Pokemon all over the movie. But yeah, I thought it was great. There was a couple scenes that I really loved. There was a wonderful scene with a bunch of Bulbasaur that I really loved. There was just a lot of great moments in the film. So I personally loved the movie. I didn't expect it to exceed my expectations. I thought I was going to really like it, but I didn't expect to really, really love the movie. So yeah, I mean, for me, as a huge, massive Pokemon fan, I was not disappointed in the least. My only real qualm with the movie was there was a couple Pokemon that I could have, that I would have, I think they could have done a little bit better job on, but at the same time, they had so many Pokemon. I don't think all of them can be an instant winner. The scene with Mr. Mime was also really good too. You guys probably saw in the trailer. It was a really funny scene. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it. I just really enjoyed the film. I highly suggest, if you're thinking about going to see it, or if you're on the fence about it and you're a Pokemon fan, go see it. It was really good. Yeah, and if you're a person who isn't, knows nothing about Pokemon, but are kind of maybe thinking about seeing it, or taking your kids or whatever, or going with other people, check it out. It's worth seeing. It's a really good, I think, a good film to, if you are a casual or really not even a fan of the series, I think anybody can really enjoy this film. So, and it certainly seems like it's a nice film to go see with family or friends or whatever. So, and you don't need to be a kid either, because like I said, for some reason, I was feeling weird, but there was a lot of adults in the theater, a lot of young adults, but still a lot of 20-year-olds or 20-something-year-olds, and even older than me were in there. So it was I really enjoyed it. And lastly, to end this video, so when I got to the theater, they actually had something, and I decided I would bust this out on camera here for you guys. They gave me they had like a whole box full of Pokemon cards, and I mean, maybe I should keep it, maybe I shouldn't open it, but I figure for the novelty of it, I'll open it on screen and see what we have here. So without further ado, guys, let's open this. Let's see what kind of cards they got here. I thought this was really cool. They were just giving out Pokemon cards. In fact, this is a throwback too, and I hadn't thought about this until now, but I remember getting a Mew card, or something like that. It was like, I don't know if they gave me in a pack or something like this, But when I saw the very, very first Pokemon movie in theaters, I remember getting cards. So I don't know if it was in a pack like this or if they just handed you a card. But I remember having a Mew from the movie, which I thought was really badass. So when I was a kid. But let's open this up and see what we got here. Hopefully I can actually figure out how to open this friggin' thing. Let's see. There we go. Okay. I will probably keep it, but maybe I'll consider giving it to my my nephew and my niece and everybody. Okay, this is pretty cool. Okay, so it comes with 2 cards, and they're actually in the style of the movie. And I got Jigglypuff, and I got Detective Pikachu. So there you go. And they're holographic, which is pretty neat. I like it. Here's the Jigglypuff. I don't know if I can... Here's the Jigglypuff. I don't know if I can get it to shimmer in the light, but... Yeah. Yeah, it's... Sorry, this isn't the best camera for this, but... I don't know if you guys could tell, but it is holographic. And, look at this! Coffee break. Corkscrew punch. Coffee break. I love it. It's funny. Cool, these are neat. These are nice little, like, mementos from the movie. So, yeah, if you guys... I don't know if all theaters are doing it, but if you guys go see the film... Whoop, if you guys go see the film, check out the... you know, hopefully you guys get some cards. I don't know. If you do, let me know what cards you get. I think everyone comes with a Detective Pikachu, but this... They might have, you know, different Pokemon per pack or something like that. But these are neat. I'll take these. I like Jigglypuff, and I like Detective Pikachu. So that's really cool. And then I got this, oh, Pokemon Center Shop. Oh, cool, you can get, like, this is just, like, advertising. You can get, like, some merch for the movie. And then I don't know what this booklet is. Oh, this shows all the cards that you could potentially get. Oh, man, there's a Charizard, a Mewtwo, Greninja, a Bulbasaur. Well, I'm okay with the Jigglypuff, but there's actually 2 different kinds of Detective Pikachu's stuff, too. These are just some of the other cards that you can get. So... pretty neat. Oh yeah, the Snubble was great too in the movie. Yeah, so the Charizard and the Mewtwo would have been cool, but or the Greninja, but but either way, I'm happy. I like the Jigglypuff. So I don't know if they're trying to encourage people to go to see the movie several times, but honestly, the movie was good enough that I don't need to be tempted by cards to enjoy it. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys you know, go and are willing to go and check out the film, and I hope you massive Pokemon fans like myself enjoy the film. And yeah, if maybe, you know, if you guys do see the film, or if you have already seen the film, throw me your thoughts and your opinions in the comments below, and I'm happy to, you know, engage with you guys about it, because I really loved this film, and I'm gonna definitely at least try to see it maybe one more time in the theater, and if not then, at least watch it again when it comes out on DVD or whenever it gets to the streaming services or whatever. But yeah, great movie. If I were to give it a rating, I'd give it like a... I'll give it a 10 out of 10. I loved it. I can't think of anything to complain about. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the movie too. And at the risk of continuing to ramble on, I'll see you guys next time. Peace, guys. Gotta catch 'em all.